I don't really have much of an opening statement because all that matters is that we won. I don't care what it looked like. That's where we are. That's the point of the season we are. You can rip up the box score and talk about this, talk about that. But at the end of the day, we got to play it like it's a postseason game, and our guys did, and they got the win. So it's a credit to them.
Awesome. Open it up to questions.
Coach, we talked a little bit on Sunday about just the idea of kind of carrying over the momentum from that series, and for Angel to go out there and triple and then Justice get that sack fly. I mean, just right off the bat, I mean, just kind of how important did you feel like that was to the team just to be able to jump on them early like that?
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously that was important against a good team, with a great crowd, which I thought was great, just to see all the fans here and let our guys see what we missed having. Anytime you can get a lead, it's great. But on the reverse side of that, we told our guys before the game, we've learned now that may not always be the case. We had the lead the whole time against Louisville. And, we talked about, hey, we're going to get pressed or we're going to get, jumped on or whatever. Like tonight, they just had that big inning, so we had to respond. But I thought that was important, especially for our pitching, to give us a little bit of a lead.
Just kind of going off that, this is Caleb Cozart's second appearance since Notre Dame. I know it's limited work, but just so far, what have you seen from him that you like, and what are you hoping for moving forward into Georgia Tech?
Yeah, Caleb, he keeps getting better and better. He can throw 3 pitches for strikes. His command's improving. I think he can get through the lineup more than once. We may not need him to do that, but I think he can get you off to a good start. And that's what we've been missing, with our starters. Not necessarily pitching 7 innings, but just getting us off to a good start. Because when you start behind right out of the gate, it's an uphill climb. And, we feel like Caleb's capable against any lineup with those 3 pitches and the changeup against lefties to keep us in it.
Coach, how fun was it being out there the last home game of the season with more capacity and your bats came alive? All these guys been through. Was that just a great moment for you and your team?
Yeah, no doubt. And we've talked about that. We talked about before the Louisville series of, we've held on. We've had some adversity. We lost 2 of our best arms, and that's hard to overcome when you have guys that you think are going to, throw 80 innings apiece. But to be in the mix, to find a way, is a credit to them. They got rewarded because fans wanted to come out and see them play. And that's one thing this team has done. We've had some ugly days where we haven't necessarily played well. But for the most part, they fought until that last out is made. And we talk about playing 27 outs. And, I thought that was awesome. And our offense knows we are who we are. We've lost those arms, so we're going to have to score. And we can't have a comfortable lead. We have to keep tacking on that lead. So if we're up 11-1, we would sack bunt. It's just kind of what it is and where we are right now.
Coach, you talked about this, or you mentioned it a bit after the Louisville series, but can you just talk some more about how important this sort of mini home stint was, winning 5 of your last 6 at the Bosch this late in the season?
Yeah, no doubt. I hate we didn't have that. Just kind of unfortunate the way the scheduling fell because Pitt, I know they opened up, I think, with 3 or 4 on the road, but they had their last 6 because they didn't go to Louisville at home. And at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to get on a winning streak at home than it is away. You have to learn how to win those games away. And we found some ways, we only got swept at Notre Dame on the road, so we've still been able to win some games. It's some big Sunday games. But playing at home is an advantage. This is a year where we didn't get to play as much as we normally do. I think you're seeing that across the country, except for the SEC, because they kept their schedule normal. But that's why the ACC, so many good teams, they're not in that 38-40 win area. It's just not going to happen this year in COVID. But I looked at it and I said, okay, hopefully if we can survive Notre Dame, which we did not, we'll be back home and we can get some wins. So besides slipping up against UNCG, our guys took care of business.
Kind of going off that, Coach, how much can you guys take away from this stretch that, obviously it's a different environment and everything going on the road, but that can maybe kind of alleviate kind of some of those road struggles that you guys have had, as you talked about on Sunday?
Yeah, well, confidence is confidence, and you get confidence from playing well and winning games. I mean, at the end of the day. But I also think when you sweep a team the caliber of Louisville, it does even more for your confidence. It makes you feel like, okay, if we play well, we can beat anybody in the country. And, Louisville's that type of team. They can pressure you. They've got arms. They can run. They can steal. So that was the biggest thing for me. Obviously, it was at home. But we also address that. And we're talking about it more now. And I probably should have talked about it more earlier. Just admitting, like, it's going to be harder on the road. You're more likely to not get a call. You're more likely to have a big lead and they make a run. So we're going to work hard at being prepared for those and kind of invite it and look forward to it.
You guys, obviously, you finish off this year. It's a 5-6 record in the midweek games. But as we've talked about numerous times, just the strength of those teams. All teams that are regional caliber. I guess just in a reduced season like such as this, how much weight do you think that the committee should be placing into the midweek games? I know you can't answer for them, but
I'll answer for us. I think you should be rewarded for keeping your schedule, not canceling games to pad your pitching for weekend games, which teams have done. But to me, my number one goal was to play 50 games for our players. These kids got their season taken away. I wasn't ever going to consider canceling a game, manipulating the schedule, and I'm proud of that. Knock on wood, we go to Georgia Tech, we get lucky. COVID tests are negative again. We play 3 more games, and we will be at our 50. And, yeah, we lost some midweek games, but I still feel like they made us better. And we also won some big midweek games. That game against South Carolina, the game here against East Carolina, Campbell, who's running away now with the Big South. UNCW is going to win their league. So if I hadn't let my buddy get me Scott Jackson and we'd have gone 1-1 against them, they're going to win their league. So I think it should matter because you pick your midweek schedule for the most part. Not always in COVID in certain areas, but you do decide if you get on the phone, like Coach Hood and I could have got on the phone tonight and not played. They're going to UNC Charlotte. They just had a big weekend series, but you can't. Teams are doing that. It blows my mind. I don't think that's right to do that because your kids, they want to play games. They don't want to spend 3 days practicing.